Adam, it seemed to be a day where you just couldn't get going.
Yeah, another one. The Bulldogs were really good. Played the conditions again a little bit better than us. They were able to have really good contest shape, drive the ball forward. I thought we failed to do that as well as what they did. Their clearance dominance was evident, particularly in the first quarter and in the last. So unfortunately, when they went to another level, we couldn't quite match it with them. So we've got a bit of work to do.
And you couldn't really get your running game going as well, even though I think they gave you 22 chances with the ball.
I think the conditions, played a part in that. I mean, tonight, wet conditions, it's a time to, take contest and surge the ball, and we didn't quite get the decision making around that aspect of our game well enough, often enough.
You mentioned contest. It's the third time in as many weeks where you kind of sat here going, our team, the opponent, and it's just doing it a little bit more. How frustrating is that as a coach?
Really? Yeah, it's really frustrating, and it's something we continue to work on, but we're not quite yet fixed. We're a little bit unreliable with some aspects of our game at the moment, and contest is certainly one of them. And even within games, we're having really good moments, but we're unable to sustain that for long enough, as long as the opposition are able to. And I thought the Western Bulldogs, particularly around the stoppage tonight, were really strong. And that's a couple of players that really stood up and took control of those areas.
It felt like when you were trying to get the ball forward, the only really positive way you were able to get it forward was when Jesse was coming down the line, bringing the ball to ground. How hard is it to make sure it's not just on Jesse to try and get that ball forward?
It shouldn't be too hard because we've trained it a fair bit. a fair bit. I mean, I didn't think we were too reliant on Jesse last year when we were playing some really strong football. So right at the moment, we're not quite at the levels that we've been, and that means sharing the ball, spreading the load. Jesse certainly competed extremely well tonight and provided a really good target for us, but we've got to have more than him, and so we're fully aware of that, and now it's just a work in progress. We've got to get a little bit better at some aspects of our game, and contest is certainly one of them, and then some ball use stuff that we need to try and tidy up a little bit too.
Speaking about the contest, one of the other great joints at the moment is sort of that forward half pressure. It seemed like the Dogs were able to get it back out of that their defensive 50 a bit too easy. What do you sort of think that down to?
Yeah, well, I didn't think we didn't get the ball in enough, and that's certainly some of the work up the field that we need to tidy up. And then two, when it did get in there, I thought we had really good moments of forward pressure, but they had some moments where they broke that too easily. And so we have aspects of our game that ensure that we're reliable in those areas. And most of the time, I'd suggest we've been okay at that. Tonight we had patches where we weren't, and so to me, I'm far less concerned about that than some of the other aspects.
Darcy Jones, I guess, in the first quarter, hamstrings.
Yep.
Update on that?
No, he'll get a scan tomorrow, so we'll get the severity on that. But hamstring, unable to complete the game. He's probably missing next week, I would suspect.
Four losses in five. Obviously, it's not the record you want after the start of the year. We can look back at last year and go, okay, still in a positive position. But how important is it to find that form sooner rather than later?
Oh, we've got to get our backsides into gear. I was going to say something else there. We've started the season really well, but our last month of footy hasn't been at the same level. And as I've spoken about, there are a couple of little things within that. We've become a little bit unreliable to one another within our system, and that breaks us down a little bit too often. And so there's a combination of reasons for that, I think. We'll get to work on that. We'll try and fix it. But, we've got to pull our fingers out. This competition's very close. There's a log jam between that middle part of the ladder that we're part of now, and we need to make sure that we keep our heads above water as best as we can.
It's been a bit of a spotlight on Toby Green's impact, I guess, on goal. What did you make of his game today? He got the 3, and one of only 2 goal kickers in the end.
Yeah, well, I thought he competed really well ahead of the ball. I thought he finished his work really well, which has probably been the only aspect of his game in the first maybe 6 or 7 weeks that I think has been slightly down on what he's normally doing. But we've got to give him more supply, don't we? I mean, what did we have, 42 inside 50s last week? We probably had similar. We got to do a bit better job of getting the ball in inside forward 50 and give him an opportunity to capitalise on that. And so we'll get to work on that and continue to try and improve.
Cal Ward's kick in the wrong direction came at a costly time.
Yeah.
At the end, what did he say?
Oh, I didn't actually speak to him about it. It was far from the reason we lost the game. One of the moments in a game where stuff happens. That was our least of our issues at this point in time. So, yeah, well, as I said, we'll review this game really strongly like we have each and every other week. We'll provide the solutions with our players and we'll get to work.
There's always a lot of focus, obviously, on both Toby and Jesse, but the fact they only had 2 goal kickers today, what do you put that down to? Is that just not hitting targets or not looking for enough targets?
Yeah, well, I don't think our connection going forward was really strong, and add to that, we didn't get the ball forward anywhere near often enough, and so that has an impact on everyone. Bulldogs defended us really well. They were able to get the ball in their half and lock it in far better than what we did. So, again, it's one of those things that if you don't really provide the supply, it's going to be difficult to really capitalise. So, yeah, we'll get to work on it. We'll be better.
Geelong this week, it was probably one of the best wins for the team last year when you went down there and you Toby's 200. I mean, I imagine you're hopeful that it's the sort of thing where you're going into a hostile territory like that can kind of bring the best out of this team again.
Yeah. So we're, as you said before, a worse record last year heading down to Cardinia Park to play down there. So, we enjoy getting down there away as a group into Geelong. They'll be bouncing off their loss of Thursday night, so they'll be pretty keen to rectify that. I'm sure they'll get some players back that will help them. So it's going to be another massive challenge for us getting down there. But yeah, we look forward to it, and hopefully it can kickstart our season.
Cal Ward played a bit of a run with role for the first 3 quarters tonight. What was the thoughts in, releasing that going into the last?
Oh, look, we were a couple of goals down. We were plenty of scoring shots down. We're trying to win the game. We're trying to... we put Brent Daniels into the midfield, trying to inject something a little bit different. I thought Wardy, up until 3/4 time, had done a fantastic job on Montebello. Not sure how many possessions he had till 3/4 time, probably a dozen. Yeah, 10. Okay, so, he's one of the best players in the game, and we've restricted his possession count. Unfortunately, it didn't reflect that on the scoreboard or the other numbers. So I thought Wardy was really strong for 3/4, yeah. Cheers, guys. Thank you.